All right, let's dive right in. We're about to venture into what is, without a doubt, one of the deepest, most profound mysteries in all of science and philosophy: consciousness. Now, you can think of it like this giant iceberg, right? Most of what it is, most of its secrets, are totally hidden down below the surface. So, in this explainer, we're just going to start by exploring the very, very tip. So, let's kick things off with a question that sounds so simple but has completely stumped the greatest thinkers for centuries. What is consciousness? I mean, it's your awareness of the world around you. It's that feeling of being you. It's the very software that's running in your head, allowing you to experience this explainer right now. But the second you try to pin it down with a neat little definition, well, that's where all the trouble starts. And here's the first huge hurdle we hit. If you try to define consciousness as, say, awareness, then you immediately have to ask, well, what's awareness? And that just leads you to more words. And then you have to define those words. And you end up in this endless loop. It's a circular trap. It's kind of like trying to grab a handful of smoke. So if words alone can't quite get us there, we often have to turn to analogies to try and get a feel for the idea. There are two really great analogies that help us kind of picture what's going on. First, you've got the spotlight. Is your consciousness just a single spotlight lighting up one tiny little piece of your mind at a time while the rest sits in the dark? Or is it more like a stream? You know, a constant flowing river of thoughts and feelings where one moment just seamlessly blends into the next? Think about it for a second. Which one feels more true to you?
This really brings us to the three massive challenges for anyone trying to study consciousness. First, like we said, just defining it without chasing our own tail. Second, we have to try and explain it. And this is the big one. How does the wet physical stuff of our brain, just neurons and electricity, create the totally non-physical experience of seeing the color red or feeling sad? And finally, how do you even measure it? How can we objectively know for sure if something or someone else is truly conscious? That challenge, connecting the physical brain to our inner experience, that leads us straight into our first huge philosophical puzzle. It's the classic mind-body problem, famously called the ghost in the machine. The idea is actually pretty simple to grasp. Your mind, all your thoughts, your feelings, your sense of self, it feels totally immaterial, right? Kind of like a spirit or a ghost. But your body, that's a physical machine. It's just flesh and bone. So how does the non-physical ghost interact with the very physical machine? How does a simple, fleeting thought make your actual physical arm reach out and grab something? And you've seen this concept absolutely everywhere, even if you didn't have a name for it. I mean, the entire plot of The Matrix is built on this problem. A mind that's been unplugged from its body and jacked into a simulation. And it's the same thing with literally any ghost story you've ever seen, where a spirit manages to move an object. It's all grappling with this same core mystery, a non-physical mind affecting a physical world.
And this question of how the mind directs the body, well, it leads directly to another, maybe even more personal debate. Are you actually in control of your own decisions? This is the huge battle over free will. This whole debate pretty much boils down to two completely opposite views. On one side, you have determinism. This suggests that you're basically on a train that's following a single, predetermined track. Every choice you think you're making was actually fixed by a chain of events that started long before you. On the other side, you have free will, which says, no, you're the hero of a choose-your-own-adventure story, and you have the real power to pick a path and actually shape what happens next. And believe me, this isn't just some abstract philosophical argument. It has massive implications for everything. I mean, just think about it. If every single one of our actions is predetermined, what does that do to our entire justice system, to our ideas of morality? Can we really praise someone for doing a good deed or blame them for doing a terrible one if they never really had a choice in the first place? These questions about choice and control, they force us to look even deeper, right to the very core of our conscious experience, the self. I mean, what is this thing that makes you, you? The self. It's that constant background feeling you have of being a unique person, the main character in your own life story. It's the I that stitches together your past, your personality, and all your experiences. It's the thing that gives you your first-person perspective on the world. But here's where it gets really puzzling. Pretty much every cell in your body is eventually replaced over time. Your thoughts, your memories, even your core beliefs are constantly shifting and evolving. So what is the single thread that connects the you of today to the you of 10 years ago? What's the core thing that gives you this powerful feeling of continuity? And okay, let's go one level deeper. We know that we don't experience the world directly, right? We experience it through our senses. It's all a perception. So what if the same is true for ourselves? Can you ever truly know your actual self? Or are you only ever experiencing your brain's perception of yourself? A story your mind is constantly telling you about who you are.
Now, so far, we've pretty much been talking about our normal, everyday waking consciousness. But some of the most fascinating clues about what it really is come when we go beyond that everyday reality and into what are called altered states.
And these deviations from the norm range from the really familiar to the totally profound. You've got sleep, which we now know is essential for processing memories and emotions. Then there are dreams, that weird nightly playground for our subconscious mind. And then you get into the deeper altered states, the kinds of things people reach through intense meditation or with psychedelics, or that get reported during near-death experiences. And it's those experiences, like near-death events, where people report vivid awareness while their brains are showing little to no activity, that really put some serious pressure on the idea that consciousness is only a product of the physical brain. They raise this wild possibility that maybe, just maybe, our awareness could exist beyond the purely physical machine. And this leaves us with one last really provocative question to think about. Are all these strange states of consciousness just tricks of a confused brain? Are they just illusions? Or could they actually be windows, offering us a quick glimpse into genuine, deeper layers of reality that we can't normally access in our day-to-day lives?